Hey, nice to meet you. Today is the last episode of our album overview. If this is the first time you're seeing it, go watch the other two. The link will be in the description. So today we're going to be talking about spring. So last episode we left off at February Rain, which is the kind of depressing, a little bit sad winter song about rain and cold. And I talked a little bit about how that transitions into the spring section. February Rain, which ends with summer must be hiding somewhere under blackened leaves lies living truth, waiting for the perfect time to bloom. Then that goes straight into Mountain Daisy, which is a very fun song. So it's super fun, and I think a really great way to go into spring. It's this kind of relief, the sigh of relief of, oh, we're here, the sun's out again, and we're just dancing. So the theme of this song is a mountain daisy, which is an idea that I got when I was in Colorado for a family trip a couple summers ago. And I was just looking at the daisies that were under the mountain and thinking, I wonder if they know that they're on the base of a mountain. If they would just look up, they would see this huge mountain. And so I kind of drew a connection between that and myself, and especially my spiritual walk, because a lot of times I don't think about God, and I don't think that I'm here, but behind me is the creator of the universe, So I really loved that metaphor and that picture. So I rolled with that, and it came out with a pretty deep, but also just really fun song. So verse 1 is talking about the daisy. Do you know you dance before the boundless mountain's feet? Because if you knew, would you still hang your head? And I think that goes great from February Rain, where it's very sad, and then it kind of transitioned into this real tangible hope. So then the chorus talks about, there's actually two choruses in this one. The chorus doesn't repeat. So chorus 1 is talking about the daisy is safe because the mountain kind of protects it from these storms. So the daisy is protected, and then that goes into verse 2, which is talking about an ant crawling beneath the daisy. So you have this mountain, and then the daisy, and then the ant. And I wanted to explore that because not only is God the one protecting and inspiring me, but the ant is the one that I can then inspire. Maybe a young Christian, or just a younger person in general, someone that I can influence. And so God influences me, and then I'm able to influence the ant. So saying, do you know you march below a noble daisy's petal, or would you stop and marvel at the flower's design? You can admire those who are other humans, but are either further in their walk or just, an inspiration to you. And then that should point you to the mountain ultimately, or God. Then the chorus 2 talks about that ant and how it's protected by the daisy. So you have these layers of protection. And so I thought that was really neat. And then the end of this song is just whistling because it's fun, and I like whistling. Mountain Daisy then goes into Safer in the Storm, which is a pretty new addition. This is another really old song that I wrote, but I found that actually fit pretty well here, especially kind of hearkening back to February Rain, because it talks about rain. In the first line, there's beauty in the rain, there's comfort in the pain and the sorrow, to wash away the dust of tomorrow. So that line pretty much explains a lot of it. There is use, there is beauty in rain. It can be a good thing. And then the metaphor kind of goes into the account of Peter walking out to Christ on the Sea of Galilee. So even though waves may rock the boat, I'm walking with the author on top troubled water, wading through the storm that he wrote. In the account of Peter walking on the water, he can't wait to see Christ, and he wants comfort in him, so he asks if he can walk out on the water with Christ. And there was a sermon I heard a while back, and the speaker was talking about that. He was like, it's safer actually to be out with Jesus on the water than it is to be in the boat. I can either be real safe in myself and kind of in the boat, but that's actually the least safe position I can be in, because it's actually safer to be where Christ wants me to be, where his will is. So I thought that was a super cool idea to explore. So the whole song talks about that. And in the last chorus, it kind of drives it home. Above all the waves I can float, I'm walking with the author on top troubled water, wading through the storm that he wrote. I'm safer in the storm than the boat. So that one's kind of a lullaby-ish. It's very, very low-key, but yeah. The next one is Stomping Grounds. This one is one that I wrote when I was in Vermont with my fiance, visiting her hometown. And she got to show me like where she grew up, even where she played in the woods, and that was really neat. And so I was just inspired to write a little song about that experience. So it's a little bit nostalgic. It's also a love song that's saying to your partner, go and show me your childhood. I want to see where you grew up. And this one's just ukulele. It'll be really low key again. But over by that tree is where you went to set to sea and sailed to far off lands that never fade away. It doesn't really have a repetitive structure. It kind of has 3 different segments, but they're not really like a verse and chorus. But then we'll probably end up repeating it again as an instrumental. I'm a little bit disappointed that this song is so short. I don't like writing short songs because it doesn't feel like a real song. But I've also just been thinking about it, and I can't decide what to add. I think it says all that it needs to. And so I'm not going to try to force anything more on it. If anything, we'll just make a fun little instrumental thing to finish it off. Just a fun little song. If you want to look deeper into it, it's a little bit like idealizing relationships. It's kind of like the magic of a childhood crush, that kind of very ideal view of relationships. That leads us into the next song, which is Wildflower Bouquet. This was also inspired by when we were in Vermont. I think I have a picture here. So this is a picture I have of a bouquet that my fiance and I made in Vermont of all the wildflowers that were around the area. And so it kind of just inspired a little narrative of this guy who has messed up. He said something wrong, he said something hurtful, and so he's trying to make up with his girlfriend. But the problem is he doesn't really know what to say, and he doesn't want to lie or make excuses, and he doesn't know what to say. So he decides to just make a bouquet out of the flowers that he finds on the way to her house. So he just, it's kind of a last ditch effort. Like, I just want to show that I still care, and I don't know what to say, but I'm just going to try my best. So that's the little narrative that it's talking about. But it starts out here: I never thought that it would end this way. Smell the honeysuckle breeze on the sunny summer day. It's the idea of even if it's summer and even if things are going really well, things can still go badly. And so how do you deal with that? And then he looks at the flowers and he sees that, they're still dancing in the wind and they're still doing well. And this is kind of a reference to the biblical passage. I can't remember what it is, but it's talking about how God clothes the flowers and how he protects them and feeds the birds. And if he does that with them, then how much more is he going to do towards us, since we are made in his image and we are human. There's some references to that, and I kind of want to make that the theme a little bit. So then in verse 2, he's talking about, I can't think of anything to say, so I picked some flowers that I saw on the way. The thing I tried to do here is in each chorus, the choruses are different. And in each chorus, it goes through different flowers, especially that we saw in Vermont. There were red clovers, black-eyed Susan, ferns, and other things like that. So I tried to look up wildflowers and then use that in each chorus. Like Susan has got a black eye, black-eyed Susan. Pride of golden lions, dandelions. Clover has got bright red hair. So kind of a play off of those different flowers. And then at the very end, he ends out with saying, it's all going to be okay. We've healed. It's been okay. And he calls back to that idea of the flowers are okay. They don't ever have to fear the cloudy summer sky, and neither do I. So that's the way the album ends. I've thought about maybe switching Mountain Daisy and Wildflower Bouquet, just because I'm not sure. I want the spring season to be the strongest because you want to end out strong. But right now I feel like it may be the weakest of the seasons. But regardless, that'll be the goal, is to make it a good, nice ending. So I hope you've enjoyed looking through the album, and I've really enjoyed it. I love talking about stuff that I've been thinking about for a while, and I've pretty carefully crafted the track order. So yeah, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.